In this lesson, we're chatting about the main essentials you'll need for your marketing foundation for your creative business ecosystem. So, in addition to the long form and short form marketing channels, that is where you're getting the word out. That is where you're sharing about what you do and raising awareness. Remember that first step in your marketing and sales river for who you are as a creative business. But in addition to those channels, you also want to make sure you have two things in place. This is going to be really solid structure for you to grow and sustain and thrive over time as a business. Number one is an email list, and number two is a website. So let's start with the email list. An email list is incredibly important because as opposed to things like Instagram or TikTok that are companies that we post on their platform, with an email list, you actually own that list. So anybody who consents to be on your email list is saying, yes, sign me up. Here's my email address. And that's such a precious thing because we get to be in touch with them over time as we start our business, launch our business, and grow our business. That means that if Instagram shuts down, if TikTok shuts down, if everything changes on those platforms, you still have direct contact with your people. This is huge because you don't want to lose the audience that you build on Instagram. So when you're thinking about posting in short form content on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, or anything like that, or in long form content like Pinterest or YouTube, you really want to think about how to get people off of those platforms and onto your email list, because that is where it goes from like, hey, we're getting to know each other, we're at this fun party, it's like an introduction, to like, okay, now we're on a dinner date, right? It's like, if you think about it in terms of like a relationship building over time, it goes from like, oh, cool, like getting to know each other on Instagram, and like, I want more, so I'm going to say yes to your email list because it's like the next level in the relationship. So that's what I want you to constantly think about, is how can you lead your people off of those businesses, off of those platforms, and into your business with your email list. So a couple of options for email lists that I'll recommend that I've personally used for when you're starting out. Number one, MailChimp. MailChimp is great. I used it when I started out. You can use a free version of it, which makes it really approachable in these beginning stages, and it's just a really easy to use platform. So that's a great option for where you're at right now in starting your creative business. Another option I adore is Flowdesk. That is what I currently used, and I actually switched from MailChimp to Flowdesk. I think it was my third year in business. And the reason I did that was I just loved the Flowdesk interface. I felt like it was much more intuitive as a creative and as a designer. I just felt like it was much more intuitive and easy to use. So that is another option. That one does have a monthly subscription cost of, I believe, $38 per month at this time of recording. And if you want a referral code, I will link that below for you to access so that you can try it out. But just choose the platform that feels best to you at this stage in your business. Remember, you can add right now to the end of anything you choose because it can always change in the future. But the value here is that this is a place where as people opt in to join your email community, your email family, you get to contact them consistently over time. So what I recommend for this is that you set a consistent time that you're going to touch base with your community in email. This could be once a week, this could be once a month, this could be once a quarter. Whatever feels sustainable for you is the most important. So it can actually be wise to pick something that feels fewer and farther between to start, and then you can pick up the pace from there if you choose to. Now, one tip here is that you don't want to just email when you have something for sale. This is instead a place to build and strengthen your relationships with your community. So you want to share links to the blog posts that you've been creating or the YouTube video that you've been creating, or you want to share behind the scenes peeks of your studio process. You want to let people into kind of behind the scenes of you and your creative business and what you have to offer. You can offer tips related to your services and products that help your customers in many steps, in many ways. M-I-N-I, not M-A-N-Y. Well, both, I guess, but you hear what I'm saying. So like kind of giving them a taste of what it would be like to work with you if they booked a service or bought a product from you at a later point. But this is just a really incredible and powerful way to deepen the know, like, and trust factor with your community. So this is where your people get really invested. This is where they want to get to know you better. And this is where they can really start to deeply consider if they'll buy from you. So just remember to continuously over time build your email community, build your email list. Again, coming back to what we were talking about with both direct and also passive income. When you start to grow your passive income streams and launch new passive income products in the future, having a larger email list will provide greater success typically with that process. Okay, so in addition to having an email list, the other foundational component, the essential for your marketing foundation, is a website. Even if you're a physical storefront, having a website is essential because so many people search for your business, what they're looking for online. So you can really think about your website as your storefront. And somebody who does a great job of explaining what to include on your website, especially on your homepage, is Donald Miller. He is the author of StoryBrand. He talks a lot about marketing made simple for businesses, really great resources with his books. And I'm going to dig into a few of the things he suggests here in this lesson. So I want you to keep in mind that when you start out, your website doesn't have to be like multiple pages or giant. It can be so simple. It can be one landing page, and you can actually create that through MailChimp if you choose. So you don't have to go all the bells and whistles. Remember, MVP, this applies to everything. Minimal viable product. What can you get up and running tomorrow, this week? Because that is going to get the feedback, that is going to get the ball rolling. So with this in mind, here are the things that you need to consider on that website, on the homepage. The main thing is the above the fold. And what that is, that's your header. That is the first thing you see on a website when you visit. So before you scroll, before you move anywhere else on the page, the first thing you see is what's called above the fold. And in that space, here are three main things to offer to make it super clear who you are as a business and what you can do for your community. Those three things are, number one, answering very clearly, what do you offer? Number two, answering very clearly how it will make your customer's life better. And number three, answering very clearly what your people need to do to buy the thing. That's it. Those are the three main things in the header. So number one, what you offer. Number two, how it will make your customer's life better. And number three, what they need to do to buy it. Then, as people move through that homepage, or if you're using a landing page, here are the 5 things to say on your website homepage. So one thing that Donald Miller says is cute and clever doesn't sell products. Clarity sells products. If people have to think too long about what they need to do to buy your product or what your product even is or how it's going to help them, they're going to leave your website. They're going to go somewhere else because people want something simple. They want a clear answer, especially when they're looking for the transformation that they desire in their life. So here are the 5 things to clearly state on your website homepage to make that super clear to your community. Number 1, again, the header that says what you do. So we just covered the questions to answer in your header above the fold. Number 2, a very strong, clear, and obvious call to action. This is to buy your product. So this can be a large, obvious, different colored button on your website, and you can put it in the top right of every page and in the middle of your header. So you want a call to action button in the above the fold, in the header of your web page, because you want people to click right away. So again, on this call to action button, you don't want to be ambiguous or cute. You want to be really direct. So book now, buy now, contact, anything that relates to what you're offering. Okay, number 3 is talking about what we've already covered in our customers module and our community module, which is what will happen if they don't buy from you. So what are they going to miss out on? What is it going to cost them? So in this part of your web page, you're addressing the pain point. You're saying, hey, I get it. I see where you are. So for example, with my creative business, one of the pain points is that if they don't work with me, they're going to lose a lot of time and energy trying to figure out how to start their business. But if they do work with me, then they'll save time. So this part where you point out what your customer's obstacle is huge because it's really magnetism for them to say, yes, you get me, you understand me, how can you help me? So number 4 for the homepage is to identify what your customer's life could look like if they do buy your product. So you've shown them the obstacle, you've shown them where they're stuck, and now you're saying, but hey, I can help you through that. So basically you just outline very clearly what's the great thing that happens if they do buy in. So again, with my example, they save a ton of time, they save a ton of energy, they have clarity, they have a roadmap to start their creative business, which eventually can give them more freedom and joy in their day-to-day life. And then lastly, number 5 for what to include on the homepage is a very simple step-by-step plan. Remember, clarity sells. So step-by-step, 3 steps to buy your product. So for example, in my creative business, that would be number 1, fill out the contact form. Number 2, book a discovery call. And number 3, bring your business to life by working and coaching with me. So this is just really powerful to break it down into 3 simple steps. Anything more than that feels too cumbersome. And so just keep in mind that you can lead them through the next steps to take to buy from you. I have included a link to an example site where Donald Miller walks through this in action visually. So if you want to see it, you can really look at how a successful site works. Okay, so your action step from this lesson is to pick an email provider, either MailChimp or Flowdesk or another one that best suits your needs, and pick a place where you're going to host your website. That can be a landing page or an official website host. Either one will work. Pick the one that best suits your needs right now. And once you've done that, join me in the next lesson where we're going to chat about direct marketing. I'll see you there.